All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new edition of the HBCU Sports Live Podcast. I'm HBCU Sports reporter Chris Stevens, and as you can see, I have the pleasure of being joined by the three-time Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship coach of Norfolk State and the true Spartan, Coach Larry Vickers. Coach Vickers, thanks for joining us today. How you doing?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm doing really well.
All right, thanks for coming on. And obviously, this team has been head and shoulders above everyone else in the MEAC all year long. You guys have gotten mid-major ranking consideration. Just coming in from last year's team, last year's game when you guys last year's tournament, excuse me, when you had that tough time of it with Stanford. What was the mentality of this team when you first got to meet with them in October for preseason practice?
Well, I mean, we kind of started in June with our goals. So when we arrived back in June, just kind of looking how were we going to get better from a team that won 27 games. We won 26 games 2 years ago, 27 games this year. And I kind of let them know, like, we could make the NCAA tournament and really be 19 and 14, right? Because I felt like our schedule was so tough. And they locked in. They locked in for the summer. They bought into exactly what we were looking for. We had some tough games against a Longwood team that, could have won the Big South. William & Mary that won the CAA. And the North Carolina A&T that won regular season, not in addition to the high major teams that we played. So we just wanted to challenge ourselves and just kind of get ready for this moment.
And how important were those non-conference games? Obviously, you did something that not too many schools do. You went and beat Missouri on the road and Auburn on the road. Just what did those wins in particular tell you about your team as you started to get closer and closer to MEAC play?
Well, that we're competitors. One thing about coaches as we kind of go into every day, you just don't know what team's going to show up. I know if I throw a drill in there where there's a score involved, Norfolk State is going to – my team is going to perk up. They are competitors. They want to win. They don't care what it is. So that's what makes us special. That's why we've been so good over the year and over the years.
And just coming into MEAC play, it felt like, obviously as a coach, you want to be sure that your girls are focused on each game at a time. But was there ever a point where it felt like, okay, this is really going to be tough? Was it going to be tough to keep these girls motivated going into MEAC season, or were they just still full steam ahead?
Well, Chris, I'm not sure if you watched our first game, but we had 25 turnovers. We did not play well at all against South Carolina State. And, the numbers didn't say that because we won by 30, but we did not play well at all. So, you want to play your best basketball in March. I felt like I was hoping that we didn't play our best basketball in mid-February. So we talked about it and we went over some things on practice on Thursday and came out, guns blazing against Coppin State, and we look more like the team that we are. And then that Coppin team, that Howard team is always going to be tough. They're such a well-coached group that we knew we had to play well in the championship game. And last year we struggled in the championship game, really the last 2 years. So we did something a little different this year to kind of try and ease some of that anxiety.
That was something I noticed. I watched the championship game because I saw Diamond going off the ball. Was that part of the adjustments that you were making to kind of make her sort of like a, more versatile presence on the floor and kind of give them something else to think about?
Well, Nia handles the ball a lot for us, Nia Fields, but Howard was doing a good job eliminating her touches. A player that good, if she could constantly feel it, she's eventually going to get in rhythm and get hot. And Howard did a really good job, especially in that second quarter, late in that first quarter, of really limiting the good looks that she got. But as we came back in the third quarter, we assumed we made some adjustments at halftime, and we started with Mimi on the inside and then finished with Diamond on the outside.
And when you have someone the caliber of a Mimi Wheeler, who has been not probably the best post player in HBCU women's basketball for the last 3 years, just what kind of confidence booster and sort of like a comfort is that for your team to know that you can dump the ball down into her, and more often than not, she's going to get you guys some points?
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be down low. It could be the mid post, which is different from that. That's what's different about her than other forwards. She's so versatile. And now with her shooting a three, I think she made 2 threes in the tournament. It just extends her game all the way together. But, it's good to have somebody that consistently wants to win. She's passionate, sometimes too passionate, but you don't ever want to kind of tone any of that stuff down.
I mean, we've talked about Diamond and Mimi, but you have a complete team. Obviously,
Sure.
Naya handles the ball for you. Anjanae Richardson is omnipresent, and Debria Clark came off the bench and gave you 10 points on Saturday. And McCoy Diawara had 9 rebounds. That was really a help to Mimi on the interior. So what you've put together, it's this is your 10th season, so you've had a chance to really build this program up. Just when you look at the work that you've done so far, and it's not done yet, obviously, because you're going to play in the NCAA tournament. Just how proud are you of the work that you and your staff have done in elevating this Norfolk State program?
Well, I'm proud of the sacrifices that they've made. Diamond could average 25. She honestly could. She's that good. And Mimi could average 20. She's that good. But everybody makes a little bit of sacrifice. Ajane could be top 10 in our league in scoring. She averaged close to 11. Bree, a little under 10. Everybody sacrificed. I talk about just Donasia Williams, somebody who started all the games for us last year, 33. And this year she came off the bench and she didn't complain externally. She handled it like a professional. She still came in every day and worked. And then you saw games like that Coppin State game that you can see what really makes her special. Yes. So, that's the one thing about a team. If a team has good chemistry and they're willing to make sacrifices for each other, you can do great things. And, we ended up 30-4 as a result.
And with that 30-4, you get probably the highest seed that an HBCU has gotten in recent memory. You get a 13, and you don't have to go real far to play. You're going up to College Park to play Maryland. Just how big of a, how key is that to, not have your girls on a plane or, go on different places, different time zones to play a basketball game? And what have you had a chance to observe about that Maryland team so far?
Well, last year, if anybody watched our game, it came on 8 Pacific time. So it was 11 o'clock our time. So by the time we were doing post-game pressers, Mimi, Dime, and myself, everybody's yawning. It lacked energy. So just staying on the East Coast, obviously, is something that we'll enjoy. So we didn't have to adjust the West Coast time at all. As far as Maryland goes, Maryland is a very good basketball team. They're one of the best scoring teams in the country. Coach Freeze, year in and year out, has put a great offensive group together. We know that we're going to have to go out there and really, really defend. But not only that, defend, play some offense, try and get some good looks, try and create some easy things for each other. And if we can do that stuff, we'll be okay.
And of course, this has been a star-crossed kind of year for the basketball programs. I remember listening to the MEAC press conference and you saying that you and Coach Jones were kind of nervous about, finally getting to put that banner up on the highway. But now you guys are able to do it, and you've been at Norfolk State longer than anybody. So you played there. You were an assistant coach with the men. You took over the women's team 10 years ago. Just what has it been like to see this program elevate on both sides and be able to be sort of like the gold standard for MEAC basketball at this point in time?
Well, I talked about it the other day. Me and my teammates went to one semifinal, depending on what year teams you were on, possibly 2. So we're talking about just playing on Friday. Now my group is used to playing on Saturday. It's just like something that happens from the 4 in a row now to the potential, the COVID that we lost to 17 and 18. We are just used to playing in championship games at this point. Not only us, but our men's program as well. So it just speaks to Dr. J and Dr. Webb and, their focus on basketball and making sure that we continue to be successful.
And just with that in mind, Coach Jones had a press conference, a meeting, I think it was on TV, where he was talking about how the seeding just, wasn't favorable to the men's team. And I agree with him on that part. But when you guys go into, set up your schedules, is that something that you guys are cognizant of, or is it just a matter of trying to find the best opponents? Because it's clear that a lot of mid-majors are kind of running from you guys a little bit. But when you go to play like a Missouri, when you go to play like a Auburn, there's no ducking or dodging there. So just what's the toughest part about building a program the way you guys have built programs to be able to at least get to this point and hopefully at some point in the future get fairer seeding?
Well, you talked about non-conference schedule. For me, If a team has a really nice facility, like practice facility,
Right.
I'm like, you probably play guarantees, but a lot of those teams with really nice practice facilities won't do guarantees with us. They want to do home and homes. So in order for us to make a little money for that revenue share, we got to go play, we play 5 high majors this year. And, it's a part of the business. We don't mind doing it, but obviously we feel like if we can get the right ones, if you can stay away from South Carolina, we can go in there and compete. And we were able to do that, and the committee kind of took notice. Sometimes Coach Jones is the best. He knows how to keep himself motivated, right?
Right.
So Coach Jones sees something like that. He feels slighted. I work for him. He's going to be super intense in practice to get ready for games, For me, I'm happy to be there. I prepare kind of the same way, every time. But Coach Jones is a great motivator. So I know he's going to use that for his guys to kind of get them hyped.
And we'll get you out of here on this note. What do you think if you had to identify one particular key that is going to help you guys beat Maryland on Saturday, what would that key be?
Well, I think we have to do a really good job with personnel. Obviously in a situation like this, we're getting 6 days to prepare. We have to use these 6 days and make sure that we come in with a good basketball IQ. This game isn't going to be won by our physical prowess. It's going to be won by our minds. And we're going to have to start that prep early, lock in. And if we can do that stuff, lock into personnel, lock into tendencies, we should be okay.
Coach Larry Vickers, definitely thank you for joining us today. We greatly appreciate you, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for watching this edition of HBCU Sports podcast. We appreciate y'all as always. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Donate via the Zelle app at donate@hbcusports.com because, well, we got bills to pay. And you can follow us on all manners of social media. We're on X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whole thing. HBCU Sports. Look for us. You'll find us, and you'll get more good stuff like this interview with Coach Vickers. So thank y'all for watching. Till the next time we speak, y'all take care of yourselves and each other. We out.
Go Spartans.